the ships at sea, Jorge. If it isn't pride, well, I don't know what the... Oh, hey! Hi! It's me, Wilma Fingerdoo, with the Fingerdoo review of RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under, Season 1, the finale. And I can't believe it's all over from Down Under. It was a rocky road, but we made it to the end. I don't know how. But before we get to it, I want to thank this week's Tipperdoo, Todd Smith, who wanted to thank me for sending a shout out to his fabulous mom, aka Wicked Wanda from Anaheim, because I think there's a couple of Wicked Wandas out there. I don't want to say there isn't, but I just want to make sure, Todd, that you're taking good care of the Wicked ones, seriously. And if you'd like to help support this channel by being a Tipperdoo, the link is in the description box down below. Speaking of down below, sounds dirty, please remember to give this video a thumbs up and subscribing to my channel if you haven't yet. Doing both will also help support this channel more than you know. Seriously. Now, I've also got some Redbubble models to show off. You shut your face. First off, we've got Luann, who got a fabulous, albeit belated birthday present of a Jorge Drink Me tea and a mug from her good friend David. Happy birthday, Luann. I hope you liked the video I sent. Shut your face. Also, we got a picture of Jen's fridge. That is now modeling a Wilma Pride sticker. And yes, it's right next to an Elect Allison Hendricks sticker from Orphan Black. That's one fashionable fridge you got there, Jen. Seriously. And finally, we've got Otto rocking a Wilma Pride tee with his sexy beard all braided up so as not to block the star of the show. You're looking good, Otto, I'm just saying. And thanks to Otto and Jen for buying some Wilma Pride swag off my Redbubble page. For the month of June, all proceeds from all Wilma Pride sales will be donated to Rainbow Railroad. So far, we've raised over $106. So, on behalf of Rainbow Railroad and the people that they help, thank you, seriously. If you want to get yourself some Wilma Pride swag and help support Rainbow Railroad, or if you'd like to donate to Rainbow Railroad directly, the links are also in the description box down below. Now, Jorge, drink me. Ooh, is this a sophisticated lady? It's a delicious lady, I'll tell you what. All right, let's get to it. We started this episode off by saying goodbye to Elektra Shock. Her prophetic lipstick message said only one queen could beat her, and that was the winner of Drag Race Down Under. Understandably, Keita was very touched by that. Scarlett, on the other hand, had to continue to kick Elektra while she was down and out with her harsh opinions. I'm shocked. Karen and Art felt that Elektra had held back during the lip sync for Keita's benefit, but personally, I just don't think it was a dance it out kind of situation for Elektra. Just saying. Either way, the queens took a moment to congratulate Scarlett on her third win of the season, to which she responded to with a rousing top 3 plus Art. Art took the chiding well by saying she may not have won a challenge this season, but she didn't feel she wasted her opportunity. I'm not sure I agree. I feel that Art definitely benefited from an inconsistent level of judging that seemed to hurt or hinder the entire cast at one point or another. Just me? I feel like there's something wrong. There's something wrong in the Fingerdoo verse that... Oh my God! Leon's gonna kill me. I don't have my beauty mark on. How will y'all know I'm gorgeous? There, I made it extra big, so it's extra gorge. I got some extra gorge on my face. I keep forgetting to do that. I don't know why. Clearly, I don't want to be beautiful. I'm just saying. Scarlett seemed sure that she was going to take it all with her 3 wins, although Karen didn't think having half a beard showing through her makeup was going to help her. Although, by Scarlett's account, let she with the less stubbly chin throw out the first disposable razor. Seriously. And then the queens had an impromptu wig swapping party, which I'm sure they hoped would drown out Art's delusions of grandeur. The next day, the top 4 danced their way into the workroom ready for whatever Ru had in store, but not before they gave production some well-directed poses to use for a flashback montage. I just wish that they had some better things to flash back on besides Elektra's hard entrance look. Haven't we suffered enough? And then they were interrupted by deja vu all over again with Ru's last video message of the season, which was all about bringing the thunder. And she didn't mean that in a lactose intolerant kind of way either, I'm so serious. Then Ru entered the workroom one last time with the last maxi challenge of the season. The queens would be performing their own verse to RuPaul's I'm a Winner, Baby, with all the bells and whistles, as well as having a light lunch with Ru and Michelle. But before the queens could get to writing, Ru had a video message from Dame Olivia Newton-John and her daughter, Chloe Latanzi. It was heavily scripted, and I'm still not sure why they did it, but at least it wasn't long, seriously. Right away, the queens got down to writing their lyrics. Scarlett seemed to have no trouble writing hers. Karen was able to write 2 sets of lyrics, one as her boy self Richard and one as Karen. Let's hope the Richard lyrics were more of a warm-up because the Karen POV seemed to be fabulously inspirational. Kita was going to actually sing, which, if that's something she's good at, is always impressive, although her admission to not being the best singer had me worried. But she certainly seemed confident without dragging anyone else through the mud. Start, Simone! Although we didn't get to see the queens recording their verses, we did see them have lunch with Michelle and Ru. First up to the Jaffa Bowl was Scarlett Adams. Oh, and by the way, Jaffas are a little round ball of orange-flavored chocolate in a red candy shell. Personally, I'm not a fan of orange chocolate. Anyone else? Scarlett did ask them for post-Drag Race advice, and they both agreed that Scarlett should avoid the noise and stay focused on what matters. But seeing as the most important thing in Scarlett's world is Scarlett, I'm sure she has that one locked down already. Art was next, and I feel like there was a minute there where we got to see the real Art. Apparently, she seems to be supporting her whole family by doing drag, so Michelle brought up a good point. Who's taking care of Art? Well, it made me feel bad for her for a minute or two. I mean, maybe that's why she's so harsh with others, so there's a reason no one can get too close. Who can say? It was Karen's turn next. Right away, Ru brought up Karen losing her mom at 16, and although Karen assured Michelle that her mom wasn't the inspiration for Karen from finance, she did admit that her mom was a bookkeeper. So someone's lying. Ru also asked if it was a challenge for Karen to be boxed in by her character's parameters, which Karen did agree was a challenge, but I have to say, I loved her idea to do a whole show based on office workers. If you ever need a mailroom gal, Karen, give me a call. Seriously. Last but certainly not least was Kita Mean, and right away, Ru and Michelle brought up how amazing Kita's weight loss was and how she's dealing with the issues that got her there in the first place. Kita's desperation for love was certainly in the foreground, but the fact that when her parents split up and she was forced to live with her father and brother obviously left some scars as well. Ru's advice that Kita start a relationship with her younger self and to love herself resonated with Kita. As heavy as the conversation got, I'm glad it ended on a happy note. And by happy note, I mean someone eating a Jaffa. They were looking so lonely. After the lunches were done, it was clear that Ru and Michelle's comments about Art being alone hit her hard. It obviously was making her re-examine some of her life choices. All I have to say is better late than never. Let's hope for her sake it sticks. Seriously. And then it was time to learn choreography with Lance Savani and his adorable assistant, Alvis. This was a bit of a worry for some of the queens. Okay, mostly Karen, who admitted that moving from one part of the stage to another is about as dancey as she gets. Kita was first, and at the risk of being disparaging, her rehearsal had to make Karen feel a bit better about herself, or at the very least not alone on the 2 left feet front. Seriously. Art was next, and except for her confusing names for her nether regions, her rehearsal went okay. Karen lived up to her worst nightmare, but in my opinion, her fears were holding her back. Art and Scarlett laughing to her back probably didn't help either. Something Kita Mean did not take part in. Thankfully, Alvis was there to help her feel her fantasy. He's good, I'm just saying. Clearly, Scarlett was having the easiest time with her choreo, but then Art did feel that hers was the easiest to learn. And then it was Coronation Day. As the queens got ready, they all shared war stories about their families, particularly their parents. Kita's parents split, and she had to live with her dad and brothers in a hyper-masculine environment. After Karen's mom died, she was stuck in a house full of masculine energy that really made her feel alone. And now she realizes it's time she start letting them in. Scarlett's like me. She's never met her dad, but there was a time when he tried to reach out to her, but when he found out Scarlett was gay, he never spoke to her again. It's a shame. For whatever reason, Art didn't grow up with her biological father either, but as they were reconnecting, he found out she was gay and ceased all contact as well. At least Art had the last laugh by landing some high-profile ad campaigns that throws her presence back into her father's face. We all have sad stories in our past that do more to connect us than we think, and the world would be a much kinder, gentler place if we all would take a moment to remember that. So here's to gay kids and those broken homes that raised them. Seriously. And then it was time for the runway. Ru looked beautiful in her bronzed fantasy. Michelle looked bodacious in her embroidered bodice. And Reese looked spectacular in his sequin ensemble. First up, it was the premiere of the Down Under mix of RuPaul's I'm a Winner, Baby. This was a fun number to watch. Everyone did well and kept up as a group. Kita's solo was impressive because not only did she look good, she sounded even better. What a great singing voice she has. Do you think they used auto-tune? Art's rap went well, and I love that rainbow ponytail. I loved what Karen was wearing. That wig and velvet jumpsuit combo made her look like the love child of Elvis and Dolly Parton. I also really liked her verse because it was more like a spoken word and added another layer to the song, although she seemed to have forgone any of the original choreography. She still had no trouble moving from place to place on that stage, though. So here's to Karen. Scarlett's verse was fun, although I was surprised by how much time she spent slithering across the floor. But if you're going to have to watch a half-naked person on the floor, there are worse people to watch than Scarlett. Seriously. All in all, I enjoyed all of their performances. And then it was time for the runway. Category is Best Drag. Art was first, and I have to say, she took my breath away. This was most definitely her best drag. Now pay attention, queens, because this is what a hoop skirt is supposed to look like under a big fluffy tulle skirt. Seriously. Fingerdoo for Art, just saying. Karen was next, and I have to say this was not my favorite look on her. I thought this outfit looked marmish. Maybe if she didn't have all that ruffle at her throat, it might have looked less constricting. Not that she looked bad, I just liked what she wore in the musical number better. So, unfortunately, I had to give her a finger don't. I hate myself. I like Kita Mean's showgirl number until the wings mechanically unfolded, and then I loved it. This is what Courtney Act's outfit was missing. Wings that moved on their own. Seriously, this was a brilliant concept and totally worthy of a Fingerdoo. Scarlett's best drag was a little bit of a letdown for me, I don't mind telling you, only because she's worn some fantastic looks this season, and I don't feel that this was the best one. I still gave it a Fingerdoo, but I didn't use any of my important fingers. You heard me? I'm not showing you. Next were the judges' critiques, which were all very supportive and positive, so I won't bore you by going over it all. Suffice it to say that everyone looked good and did a great job in the musical number. But the highlights were Art Simone being called the future of drag by RuPaul herself. I think somebody needs to call Sharon Needles and let her know it's not her anymore. Karen got a promotion from finance to the global office by Reese. Kita's voice during the number got high praise from Michelle, while Ru called her the total package. Scarlett got a wash of love and praise from all the judges. There was nothing about her on stage tonight that they didn't love. And then it was time for my favorite thing, baby pictures. Why still? Art told Little Jack it's not a sign of weakness to receive help and to listen to his orthodontist about wearing a retainer so his teeth don't move. It's good advice. Karen told Little Richard, that he'll lose the things and people that are most important to him, but it doesn't mean that love is gone from his life. He'll have an amazing life, full of the love that he had when he was younger. Kita told Little Nick that he's going to have a weird, dark relationship with himself, but don't give up. You'll get through it. That's good advice. Scarlett told Little Anthony that he'll make mistakes he's not proud of, but it's important to own up to them, and that he'll feel like he doesn't deserve love, but he does, and to lean on his sisters to get through the tough times because he doesn't have to do it alone. And we weren't done there. Ru had one more question for the queens. Why did they deserve to win Drag Race Down Under? Art felt that she deserved it because she's been fighting for Australasian drag her entire career and that she can't explain how much she loves drag. Karen felt that she represents the future of drag. Suck on that, Art. And that little extra bit of money will allow her to do some amazing things. Make us all do amazing things. $30,000? Shut it. I'm doing amazing things in the theater of my mind right now. Kita felt that drag has made her the businesswoman that she is, the artist that she is, and the person that she is. She'll represent the world of drag to absolute perfection, and she'll accept nothing less. Well, that was a good answer. Scarlett pointed out first and foremost that she'd won the most challenges this season. Well, that's true. And that outside the competition, she works hard to push drag into mainstream places that drag isn't seen, and that winning will validate her hard work. Okay. After the queens took a break while the judges deliberated, they were brought back on stage for RuPaul to announce the winner, but she wasn't ready to do that just yet. She wanted to see them lip sync one more time, but not as a group. They had to perform one at a time. There would be nowhere to hide and no one to pull focus. So, a couple of them were a little nervous. With a split screen, we saw the queens lip sync to Olivia Newton-John's Let's Get Physical. Karen and Art did good jobs, but the two standouts for me were Scarlett and Kita. Scarlett, because she went hypersexual with her lip sync, which was a harsh contrast for me with her Grace Kelly gown. I mean, even when she took the skirt off and started crawling around on all fours, I wasn't impressed. I'm not saying she did a bad job. I just didn't like it. I mean, there's a time and place for that, isn't there? Kita, on the other hand, went full camp. Her sexualization of the song was more subtle and very funny. Even the way she put on that rubber glove and mimed not just a full physical, but a down-and-out cavity search was pure comedy gold. Sorry. Seriously. So, when the music died and the queens had reassembled themselves, I was thrilled to hear that the winner of the first season of RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under was none other than Kita Mean. I'm so glad that Kita won, not just because she earned it, but she deserved it. Also, with the scandal surrounding Scarlett Adams and the general dislike that Art seemed to draw to herself, I felt like Kita's win put some trust back into a show that most of its long-term fans were starting to give up on. So, again, here's to Kita Mean and a potentially fabulous Season 2 of Drag Race Down Under. Seriously. Now, before I sign off, I want to talk about something. I tagged Art Simone in a reply about how disappointing this season was. Someone posted a tweet about how, as an Aussie, they were embarrassed by the season's questionable shenanigans. They felt that some of the queens were just nasty pieces of work, and that there are lots of queens that would have been better on the show. My response was, and I quote, "Because of Kita Mean winning, I'm sure there will be a Season 2. I know I can forgive the blind eye where Scarlett Adams is concerned because the right queen won. As for Art Simone, choices. I just want to go on record as saying I shouldn't have, nor did I need to tag anyone in this tweet, even Kita Mean. But I did. It was unnecessary and childish on my part. My issues with bullies tearing people down are my issues. I don't need to drag the Twitterverse into it, and although I'm not the only one in the world who had certain feelings towards both Scarlett and Art, I'm not helping the situation by calling anyone out on the way they chose to conduct themselves on a TV program. We all need to take these things less personally. If I don't like someone because I see them as being a bully, my best action is to stop giving them my attention, not bullying them back. So, I apologize for offending any of you, including Art Simone, with my actions, and that I've taken that tweet down. As for this season of Drag Race Australia, here's to hoping that the extenuating circumstance they had to deal with make for a better, more inclusive experience for all of us in Season 2. And until All-Star 6, miss me! Mwah! Seriously. Yummy. It's All-Star 6. That's next week, right? There's no break. There's no break. I'm excited for All-Star 6, though. It's going to be good. If we thought there was drama in Drag Race Down Under, get your big girl panties on, that's all I'm saying. Get them up to your chin.